All right. Based on where you are at, we know that this might be your morning, the middle of your day, or your evening. So thanks so much for making time to be with us. And if you'd like to share a little bit about yourself, we'd love to get to know more about you, and you can do so in the chat. If at any time throughout our time together you have questions, please also feel free to share those in the chat, or you can use the Q&A feature as well. I am going to share a link to the presentation slides in the chat, and you'll also get these in a follow-up email if the link runs away from you today. But we are the Master of Arts in Educational Technology program. You'll hear us refer to it as MAET throughout our time together today. And what we're going to do is do some introductions of ourselves and the program overview, discuss program costs and the student experience, and answer any questions that come up. What we've done with questions that you've submitted beforehand is we've kind of embedded those throughout the presentation where they make the most sense. So we'll also be addressing those too. And again, we just really want to say thank you so much for spending this time with us. We know how busy all of you are, so thanks for making time to be with us here today. I am Candace Robertson. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Experience and Outreach for our program, and you will primarily be working with me as your advisor once admitted to the MAET program.
And my name is Liz Boltz, and I'm the director of MLXD, and I have the pleasure of working with Candace, along with Brittany Dillman, who is our director of graduate certificate programs, and Heather Williamson, who is our academic program coordinator.
A little bit about us as a program. We are a global community of graduate learners. Most of our students, 99.89% of our students, are working full-time professionals. In our online courses, our student to instructor ratio is 15:1. In our hybrid and overseas cohorts, that number is a bit smaller because of the accelerated nature of those experiences. And so it's about a 10:1 student to instructor ratio. We have 3 flexible program modalities. Once you're admitted into the MAET program, you can take advantage of any of those modalities. So even though you'll notice you'll apply for, there's 2 different ways to apply to the program. Even though that is different, once you're admitted, you can take part in any of those modalities. So we have our overseas summer cohort, our online, and our hybrid cohort. And we'll be talking a little bit about each of them today. Our working mission is that through engaging quality learning experiences that focus on practice and creative uses of technology, we will empower educators and designers to develop a critical lens, promote equity, think in new ways, and become transformational leaders. Our core principles are to provide support from application to beyond graduation, to value diversity of perspectives, resources, and communities, and promote growth as curious learners and transformational leaders. Now, let's help to paint a big picture of what kind of the MAET program is all about. So the MAET program is 30 credits. That equates to 10 courses with our program. It is a non-thesis master's program. So throughout your time, you'll publish to a website that becomes your portfolio that you'll reflect on and synthesize your experience in your final capstone course. So that's kind of that cumulative course experience instead of a thesis. As a part of those 10 courses in MAET, you can earn stackable graduate certificates. So you can earn a graduate certificate in educational technology, or K-12 computer science education, or in online teaching and learning. Many of our graduates earn 2 graduate certificates plus their MAET degree in those 10 courses. Our learners explore learning theories and frameworks. They create powerful solutions to support teaching and learning. And they share with our innovative global network in a variety of ways. Something we believe is very important to share is that MAET practices ungrading in our courses, and that's throughout any of our modalities. So we believe in practicing on grading because of what we know about adult learning, because of bias in assessment, and because of some of the oppressive systems within our educational institutions. So what happens in ungrading is that you begin with a 4.0 in your course. It goes in the grade book, it's published. You're going to have due dates, you're going to have creations, which are assignments. You're going to get amazing feedback from your instructors. You're going to iterate on that work and make it even better. And your instructors are going to give you more feedback on that work. And so as long as you're doing this continuous improvement, because we are a part of a system that still believes in the traditional grading model, what happens is that 4.0 is then published for a transcriptable grade. Some people might have difficulty maybe revising their work and things like that. And so they're notified if there is any issue where, your grade might need to be reduced because of that. So you'd be notified well in advance. It does not happen often because we have really wonderful learners who want to grow and we want to support that growth. So with this, what it means is that when you have rubrics in your courses and when you're getting feedback, you'll have no quantitative feedback and there will be no points on any of your rubrics. So you're still going to get all of that wonderful support that we know is really important for learners, but none of it is going to be point-based. It's just going to be based on the rubric criteria. So you'll never have a point for, chatting to a discussion board. You're just going to be expected to chat, to engage with your peers in that way. Across modalities in our program, you are going to have learning activities and creations that are purposefully designed to be applicable to your professional context. Who you are in your professional setting and what your goals are really important to us. So we get to know you. And every instructor kind of has the same standard experience where they're going to get to know you first through that first kind of screenshot where you have the purple bars in the table. They're going to get to know you in your professional setting. They're going to get to know your goals for that course and for your wider professional practice. Then within the course, on that right side of your screen is another screenshot with some orange circles, or I guess they're not circles. They're very long rectangles. But, and what's going to happen is, and that's an example of, doing some exploration through readings and media in your courses, and then the guiding questions to reflect on that being about, let's think about your learning community now and how we can put this into practice. So that's what we're all about doing, is making that connection to practice and helping to serve as that bridge between theory and practice. Across modalities, you're always going to have intentional and planned learning experiences. You're going to have high instructor presence, and you're going to have flexible creations. In our online program, and if you're in our hybrid or overseas, you will take at some point courses online. So it's good to know what that entails as well. You are going to learn and create across mediums. And so we have all of our online courses. On that screen are 3 different buttons: a button that takes you to an overview of all of our courses, that takes you to an overview video of how we utilize MSU's learning management system, which is D2L. And then there's a third button, which will take you to an example MAET course experience, which kind of shows you what you can expect from an MAET online course. We're really proud that our courses are fully accessible and are award-winning. This is something we really strive for. We are, educational technologists ourselves, and we take teaching and learning very seriously. And so we're very honored to have those recognitions. Our courses are asynchronous with opportunities for brief interactive synchronous connections. Those, again, will take into account time zones as well as work-life schedules in courses that there are synchronous opportunities, but they won't be, they'll be like 30-minute, maybe three or to 5 times. And some of those are majority optional. And then in some courses, the instructor might require, that you have a little bit of synchronous connection time at the beginning. Courses follow an explore, create, share structure, and they're facilitated by instructors with robust online teaching experience and that are dedicated to supporting all of our learners. MAET online summer courses. There are full session courses, which are 15 to 16 weeks long. And those start on May 13th and end on August 15th this summer. And we have accelerated sessions as well. So we have a first summer session courses, which run May 13th to June 27th. And then we have second session courses, which are also accelerated, about 7-week courses. And those courses run from July 1st to August 15th. Something our online learners say, and this is a quote from one of our graduates, is, "I often tell people that what you'd expect from an ed tech program would be just sharing apps and learning how to use them. This program is so much more than that. It challenges your thinking, pushes you outside your comfort zone in the best way, and allows you to focus on the needs within your own context and offers tremendous support." We're really proud that our students in our online program and across our modalities say things like that, because we put a lot of time into making sure that that comes through. And we think it's important for you to hear from learners and graduates in our program as a part of this. So if you choose to start your summer adventure with MAET in our hybrid cohort, there's a button on the screen that will take you to our hybrid information page. But our hybrid cohort is 6 weeks total. You would, in those 6 weeks, be earning 9 graduate credits. So you'd be taking 3 courses in 6 weeks. So it is an intense accelerated experience. You'll spend 2 weeks online, then you'd come to campus for face-to-face learning for 2 weeks, and then you wrap up your experience in 2 more weeks online. What can you expect in the hybrid cohort? You can expect to connect with amazing educators who are creative and critical. You can expect to have customized, fun learning opportunities around campus during your face-to-face time in East Lansing. You're going to have a variety of learning experiences that are playful and critical, and you'll have an engaging and intentional schedule that's been designed to take advantage of that online learning component as well as that face-to-face time together. This summer's hybrid dates, we start online July 1st, and then we conclude the program August 9th online. So that breaks it down for you when we're online, on campus, and online. But I think those 2 really important dates are, it starts July 1st and it concludes on August 9th. And now we have a little video of one of our hybrid students talking about her experience for you.
Hi, I'm Eureka. I live in Japan. MAET hybrid for me was a game changer in terms of motivation, engagement, and confidence academically and also personally. And for future MAET students, be ready for new challenges because MAET always encouraged you to try new technologies and new way of thinking, which make my head almost explode very often. But don't worry because you can take the challenges and you can learn from these challenges because you will be fully supported by the instructors and MAED teams. Uh, well, for example, in my case, physically and geographically, I'm far away from MSU, but I still feel so close to MAET in my studies.
What she's talking about in terms of like kind of that brain spark that you get, hopefully there's nothing igniting, but it is just because we really dive deep into the psychology of learning as educators ourselves, and then we leverage that for those creative and critical lesson designs that we create. And then what can you expect from our summer overseas cohort? It is a 4-week, again, highly accelerated experience where you're earning 9 credits, taking 3 courses within those 4 weeks. So with hybrid and overseas, you can kind of think about it as almost completing 1/3 of your degree within that cohort in this one summer. It takes place in Galway, Ireland, at the University of Ireland. And there's a button on your screen that will take you to summer overseas information. And some questions came in about it. Someone was wondering, can overseas students come to MSU for graduation? Absolutely. All of our learners from all of our modalities come to campus. They have the opportunity to participate in the commencement ceremony. So there's one in the fall and one in the spring, and we prepare you for that based on when you're going to be graduating. We give you all of that information so that you can absolutely celebrate this enormous milestone, because it's so important to celebrate it. And then how many students participate? Right now, I think we're almost to about 15-ish students signed up for this summer. So you're going to have an intimate learning experience, but with highly engaged educators and designers from around the world. And then we have 2 of our program faculty. So we have Liz goes overseas and is one of the instructors. And then we have another instructor who joins as well overseas. So you're going to have wonderful support from your instructors. And then the cohort size ranges from about 15 to 20 students. And those are split into 2 different, we call them strands. And as your advisor, I would help prepare you for which one you would be going into. So you can imagine about half of that is your class size. So there might be about 7 learners in your actual full day of class. And I should also say, we don't cap those numbers. It's just a lot for somebody to take 4 weeks out of their summer to be abroad. So we're always accepting more people. There's no limits on what number of individuals we can take there. So we always love more voices in all of our learning spaces. What does a day look like? Well, your class might start around 8:30 a.m. You'll have some reading discussions out by the river if it's not too rainy, because, it does rain in Ireland in the summer. And then we'll have lunch as a group together right on campus. Then you'll go back to class and work on a group project maybe. And then class ends at 4 and your instructors stay around to have kind of some open work time so that they can support you before you go back to your campus dorms and do the homework for that evening. And then, a group of you might decide to go to town and do some baking, a baking class that night. So we have weekend excursions and things that we coordinate. And then we also have these things that pop up as learners express that they're really interested in those things. We try to customize it best to the group that is there. Your living arrangements look like staying on campus in something called Goldcrest Village, and that's right on the University of Galway's campus. And so there are shared apartments you only share with other MAET learners. And in that apartment, the only shared space is the living room and the kitchen. You have a private bedroom and a private bathroom with a private shower. So those are kind of the private components. And then that living room and kitchen are open to anybody that's in that apartment. There's about 4 to 6 people who live in one apartment, again, all MAET learners. And this is a brand new, it's just a couple years old. It's really nice. Also, it's not like if you had an American dorm experience, it is not like that at all. And then this summer, our MAET overseas dates, we start, if you're coming for the 4-week cohort, on June 30th and conclude on July 27th. And then we also do have a 2-week cohort where you earned 3 graduate credits, and that's from July 14th to July 27th. And now you'll hear from one of our MAET overseas graduates.
Hello, my name is Anna and I'm an 8th grade language arts teacher at a school in Southwest Michigan. In addition to my work as a teacher, I'm also a member of some leadership teams at my school. This past year, I was even selected by the Michigan Reading Association as a 30 Under 30 honoree. You might be thinking, wow, she sounds really busy. How does she have time to be an MAET student too? Honestly, it's a great question. Prior to joining the MAET program, I wasn't sure that I would be able to add grad school into the mix of my many commitments. After 6 years of teaching, I missed academic discourse and fellowship with other like-minded teachers. After the toughest year of my career, the Mindsets Overseas experience was the reset I needed to fall in love with learning again and realize the MAET program is where I belong. MAET pulled out and refined some of the best parts of my teaching self, my creativity, my desire to collaborate with others, and my willingness to critically reflect upon my practice. I now have more tools for engagement to use in the classroom and during tech professional developments I lead. MAET has supported my growth as an anti-racist educator in unanticipated ways that I am truly thankful for. Finally, it has strengthened my theoretical knowledge to help me make more informed decisions in the classroom and in leadership roles. I'd like to share some of what I believe to be true as an educator and leader. 1. This is really tough and often seemingly unappreciated work. 2. This is also really beautiful, rewarding, joyful work. And 3. This is work that requires a community full of passionate, curious, and open-minded people. It truly takes a village to create an educator. Thank you to the MAET program and my MAET colleagues for being a part of my village. You've changed me for the better in more ways than you'll ever know, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this community. Go Green!
We're thankful to Eureka and Anne for sharing their perspectives with you. So if you are ready for the application stage, when is it due? If you want to participate in our overseas cohort, that application is due March 1st. Our online courses are April 1st is the due date. And then our hybrid cohort is June 1st is that due date. The buttons on the screen will take you to MAET's application page with details about and links to all of the application information. And then we also have an application guide because we personally love a good checklist that crosses things off. So that will take you to a Google Doc that you can make a copy of to kind of monitor your progress on things. For participating today, you will have an automatic fee waiver on your application. So if you have any issues with that, just email us and we'll share our email information again later. But that will be paid for you for participating this evening. A question that came in is this program open to international applicants? Yes, we have many international students and we love having global perspectives in our courses and in our program. It is important for you to know, though, that we are not eligible to offer any visas since our program can be completed entirely online. So if you are looking for an opportunity to come to the States and study with a visa, we are not eligible to offer that as a program. In terms of application, the tip I would give you is to set a timer, write, complete the information, and try not to overthink it. I think applying to a graduate program can produce some nerves and nervous energy maybe, and we will always add more instructors. We want to have the most diverse learning population that we can have. We want to have learners who we can support in their professional goals. And so we just want to make sure that we're going to fulfill your needs and meet your goals and your needs. So I would think about it as mutually, we're trying to make sure that we're going to do the best for you as well. A question just came in, is it possible to move through the online modality one course at a time? Absolutely. We have had people complete the program every way, only taking courses in the fall, only taking courses in the summer. So in your advising meeting, we would work on what timeline works best for you. And then we would map that out to take advantage of all of the things that we can within that sequence. And then, of course, the question that always comes in, because it's a really important one, is what does the program cost? We know that this is a large investment in your professional future, so we want to provide transparency and support where possible. So MSU's online College of Education tuition rate is $933 per credit hour. So across those 30 credits you would need, that total cost is $27,990. This would be online or the hybrid tuition rate. There's buttons on the screen for MAET's tuition page. There's curated funding opportunities to hopefully help reduce that cost. And then there is information on financial aid and from the College of Education. So if any of those opportunities for reducing funding, things like that, you are eligible for, we will absolutely serve as recommenders for all of those scenarios. If you find something that's not on any of the lists that we've provided, then let us know and we will absolutely provide you support for that as well. For overseas, we've been able to negotiate a slightly reduced tuition rate because you incur travel costs and there are costs with living abroad for 4 weeks as well. So this is a breakdown of the tuition and fees. So one summer experience is a little over $10,000. That includes your housing, lunch, Monday through Friday, and an activity fee. So if you did 2 summers overseas, then you have to take some online courses. That puts you at a little over 21,000. That does not include your flights or transportation or kind of your daily living costs while there. And then for financial aid for overseas, what we do is we submit to the financial aid office these costs, as well as an average flight cost, average daily cost of living costs. So your financial aid package is actually much more than this 10,000 because it includes types of costs that you would incur living abroad for 4 weeks as well. So that's where they kind of pull that total from when they're working on your financial aid for the overseas cohort. And then what does the actual kind of student experience look like? You're going to have a well-supported journey through MAET and beyond. We're going to be focused on your goals and you're going to have advising from instruction to beyond. You know, just this week I was providing resume tips for someone and helping her prepare for a job interview. So very briefly, because I also know we're running close to time, what is the duration or the time frame to complete the program? That is a question that came in. So generally students complete the program in 5 semesters. So if you started this summer, you would likely graduate in fall 2025. If you were completing those 5 semesters, it's about a year and a half to earn your MAET degree. But you can accelerate it through this hybrid or overseas cohort. So a really popular combination of credentials to obtain is a graduate certificate in educational technology, a graduate certificate in online teaching and learning, and your MAET degree. So I just wanted to show you what those might look like through a few different circumstances. So if you did 1 hybrid or overseas summer plus online, you'll notice it accelerates that and you would be participating in 4 semesters of work. If you do 2 hybrid or overseas summers, or if you do like a hybrid and then an overseas and then online courses, then again, it accelerates that to 4. And then you'll notice you wouldn't be taking courses one of the falls, and you would push that second set back. And then what does that look like if you're fully online? It looks like those 5 semesters. And what we've done for each of those is made sure that you're taking at least 2 courses per semester, because that will put you at the full-time rate for financial aid. Another question that came in is, what are the career prospects after completing the program? We have an alumni and career spotlight page with which that button will take you to. And you'll notice that some of our graduates stay in the classroom, but the majority of our graduates move to leadership positions, whether that be in their school, at the district level, or in new professional trajectories. So we've provided some highlights and for you about the types of titles on the Alumni and Career Spotlight page, as well as a few profiles. This way you can learn a little bit more about what that type of work entails. At this point, we're going to reshare this presentation link. And ask you if you have any more questions. And while you're thinking of those questions, possibly another question that came in was, is MAET a possible route to earning a PhD in education? So if your end goal is to receive a PhD, we would recommend to you to apply to that PhD program. You do not need a master's degree in order to obtain a PhD. There are also PhD programs who the majority of, and Liz can correct me on this, but they will not give you credit for that master level coursework. So we would say if you want that PhD in education, start the PhD in education. And while you're thinking of questions, what would be your next steps if you're like, yes, I'm going to do this? And we hope you're thinking that. We would love to have you in the program. If you're interested in the hybrid program, in the hybrid cohort, and starting this summer, we would say go submit that interest form for the hybrid program. Same with overseas. If you have not done so already, I recognize some of your names. It's exciting to share this space with you. Go ahead and submit the overseas interest form. And those will alert us that we need to be making you connected to those things right now because we have planning going and things like that. So fill out those interest forms. The other thing you can do, and you can do all of them, is schedule a pre-admissions advising meeting with me, and we can work on what might your MAET journey look like. And also because, especially like that March 1st due date for the overseas cohort is kind of around the corner, I'm happy to help you through that application process as well in those meetings. And then we'll stay here for any more questions that come in, or if you have like a question that's more individual, we'll be here for a little bit. But at any point, you can reach out to us. Our email address that comes directly to Liz, Brittany, and myself as people experienced in advising is askmaet@msu.edu. And we're the humans on the other side of that. And so we hope that you feel comfortable in reaching out to us. And then Heather is the human on the other side of the edutech@msu.edu. And we're all very well connected. So we will hear about you reaching out and we'll support you as best as we can through whatever that question is. So thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to connecting more with you and to hopefully having you join us either online, overseas, or in East Lansing this summer. And if you have any questions, we'll be here and we're happy to answer them.